And there we go. Welcome, everybody. BJ Wilder with you for episode 72 of Elonian Adventures. Thank you for sticking around, everybody, for our last episode of the day here. Oh, and I can close that out because we got the Elite Skill last episode. There we go. The last episode of the day before we head on over to the Extra Life for Kids channel for some Star Wars The Old Republic. But we'll be back again next week. If everything works out well and real life doesn't interfere too much, for 3 more Elonian Adventures episodes. And we're going to be doing this all month, getting caught up on all our episodes that we missed the past month or so due to circumstances somewhat beyond our control, and sort of get ahead of the game here. But in the meantime, let's see what we got for this episode. I think, like we mentioned last episode, if I remember correctly, from last episode, we're going to head into Crystal Overlook here. Just some flitting around, just some map clearing, and all that kind of good stuff. And then hopefully next week we can have Kat Kumi join us on our adventures and get some of the more difficult content out of the way, because, you know, Kat's main purpose is to carry us through the stuff that our pitiful little builds here can't really handle. And of course, my pitiful gameplay skills to begin with. But anyway, let's see here. Let's go ahead. Let's clear this stuff out. Since I didn't really give myself enough time to do this in between time, because, you know, I want to get the show on the road here. So that way we... Ooh, Survivor too. Oh yeah, I meant to sell that too. So everything... Oh, nuts. Let's run over here to the merchant. The ghostly merchant who will provide us, amazingly enough, with physical objects. But we don't think about those things too much now, do we, when we are playing games? We try to ignore some of the anachronisms that just don't make sense. I think that's everything, right? Yep, good. So now we can just sell to you all this detritus that we don't need to keep. All right, there we go. Okay. And we're good to go. So this last episode, we got through the Ruptured Heart. Of course, we can't get into the ruins of Mora, or no, the ruins of the whatever the hell it's called, the gateway there to the Realm of Torment, because we've got to do the ruins of Mora mission first, and I definitely want to have Kat along for that, because my skills of getting through that have definitely eroded over time here. It's not quite as not that it was easy to begin with, but I was able to get through it with relatively little difficulty after the first couple of tries here. But now trying to get through Ruins of Mora is just agonizing for me. Alright, so I gotta see here. So we're coming out of here. Trying to see what the best way to do this would be. Now, there's no other... The Ruptured Heart doesn't lead into anything else except for here. But no, that's the Alkali Pan into there. Shadowed Ravines. This must go into Poison Outcrops, because there was nothing, unless, of course, we did notice there were some pathways that were blocked by tentacles. Which means that we may, again, have to go do the mission for them to unlock to access the other... Again, some of my memories here of Nightfall, very, very foggy. Unlike Factions and Prophecies, which I think partly because I didn't run through, I didn't really, you know, obviously I ran every character and every alt I had through each of the campaigns, but I think at the end of the day I spent less time here in Nightfall than I did in some of the other campaigns. Alright, yeah, so we're going to have to come out of here. So this is actually going to be quite a bit of a trip to get into Crystal Overlook here. So I think we have to come up and around. I think this is the only way for us to get over to this section here. So it looks like we're going south. All right, enough time, because this might be. This is definitely going to be a longer episode than the last one. I'm figuring here. Ooh. So I grab a quick snack here to tide me over until I can get some lunch. All right. Now my goal here is just to get through Alkali here with the least amount of combat as possible, though I do want to take these things on. See if we can't get ourselves 3 inscribed shards. Okay, there's a bridge this way. Right, which takes, we still have to go down that way. No, wait, we may be able, yeah, okay, that way. All right, let's do this first. Just those 2 over there. All right, that's not worth it. Just to see if we could get another inscribed shard to drop here. Although if I really did want to make things easy on myself, I would just check one of my check on my mules, because I'm sure I've got a whole bunch of them lying around on a mule somewhere. But that was one of the things that sort of slightly always annoyed me, I think, about not just Nightfall here, but about the game in general. That, you know, with some of this stuff that relied on drops, random drops at the end of the day, RNG, the good old RNG factor that we as gamers. I found. Did we aggro the other one up there too? I think we did. Yep. Alright, well, let's see if we can get through this with only 2 deaths now. Kill the damn cleric. Alright, you know what? Let's try this again. Funny how prices just keep going up and up even more on fuel. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's yeah. I think that's one of the unanticipated things that have occurred now, since we're only down to that small core fan base playing the game now. Yeah, what was it? Yeah, whatever, that one rune that I actually was surprised to find out was worth 10 platinum on the rune trader there that we sold in the last episode. Yeah, and I most noticed that early on. I most noticed that with the scrolls. You know, the stuff on these vendors that rely on players buying and selling to those vendors. Where, you know, most vendors, you sort of get used to the fact that if you go to a vendor, they have an unlimited statically priced inventory. In a lot of MMOs and games in general. And that, you know, you go to the vendor, you know exactly what they've got, how much it's going to be, and you don't ever have to worry about them running out of whatever it is you may be looking for. Not so here, in terms of like the scrolls and the runes and insignias that are entirely dependent. And God dang it, we aggroed that other group again. On essentially the player-driven economy at this point. You know, there really isn't an economy as big as or as in-depth as you would find in most other MMOs here. The economies are really rather simple, but it is the interaction with these particular vendors now where we see ourselves running into a wee bit of a problem with supply and demand and the cost of stuff now, that there's just not a as much interaction. Which, yeah, on the one hand, it is good in that, you know, now you can actually see more of an effect on the economy now that there's fewer players dealing with these vendors. You know, obviously it got to the point to where you didn't have to worry about a vendor running out of something. But like I said, I first noticed it with the scroll traders, to where, yeah, they actually run out of inventory now of some of the more desired scrolls. Because when I was doing some of the doing some farming on the Thronis Iron Toe dungeon, they take along, you know, some of the double and triple XP scrolls to do that. And then, you know, as the player base dwindled here, I found I went to the scroll trader, and wow, he doesn't have the scroll I'm looking for. But it does. It's kind of interesting now, especially with the crafting materials, which are the same way. Which, you know, fortunately, I haven't seen any vendors run out of a particular crafting material. But now you can see there is a lot more variation in pricing between among the common and rare crafting materials, which I think that is a good thing, because, you know, it got to the point to where everything was as cheap as it can be. But now, if you're looking for a particular item, you might have to pay a little bit more for it. Or if you have a particular item that you don't necessarily need, you're going to get a little bit more in return for it. Oh, for God's sakes! Oh, that's right. This is the boss here. Well, I'm not rezoning again, so we're just going to end up having to respawn here. I'm definitely not beating this group down because I wasn't paying attention to what was going on. And I'm all out of energy. Fabulous. And we're dead. For God's sake. I've mentioned this before when Kat's been with us, that I cannot. Oh my! I would dread having to do this in hard mode. These areas now. Where the heck are we? Oh, we're way back here. So I've got to go. Might as well talk to you anyway, I guess. Nope, wrong way. We gotta go around this way. But yeah, for like most of the common crafting materials back in the day, it was, you know, everything was base cost essentially. But now you'll find that there are some of the common crafting materials are actually worth more than the rarer ones, simply based on, again, the popularity of whatever they're used to craft. A few things here and there. I almost wonder if it wouldn't be better getting into the worms here. No, he is not the one I want to be fighting. I want to be fighting spellcasters here. And in particular, probably you right here. We gotta get you and we gotta get the Cavaliers down so you guys stop respawning each other here. Re-resin, I should say. We haven't Cavaliers, so it's just going to be, I think, the boss. So we can keep them occupied long enough for the body to disappear. Dang it, this is not going to turn out too well. Alright, so I might have to rezone here and rethink my plan here. It's going to take most of this episode just to get to the Crystal Outlook here. Might get to the point where I'm just going to have to rezone and try to avoid these guys as much as possible, because right now we're not in good shape to be doing a lot of exploration here effectively, I guess I should say. So let's give this another try. The only materials needed for consumables are worth something. Yeah, essentially that's what it is now. Everybody's using the consumables, which, as you can see here, I rarely use any consumables, which hampers some of my efforts to get some progress made, obviously. I probably should make more use of them, at least in terms of the sake of my videos here. See, the problem is, we can't run too far here because we have got to get into the worms. Or, you know what? No, we do not. We do not need to get into the worms. Here, anyway. So we can get through this group. Without aggroing anybody else. Yeah, the one time I did make extensive use of consumables is during when I was doing the magic. Damn it! That's what I not wanted to do, was aggro the other group, because now it's just going to waste some more time here. Was during the Mad King Thorns that quest that takes you into I think it's the underworld, as the candy corn in the candy corn disguise, just to be able to get through that quest chain was a lot quicker and easier using the consumable route, which I have since forgotten how to do it because I haven't done it in the last 4 or 5 years. I think I did it the first couple of years that we were that those quests were available, but then that was it. All right, let's get moving here because we're already 20 minutes into the episode and we haven't gotten anywhere yet. Of course, this is probably where I wanted to go to begin with, so I went the wrong way anyway. That's all right. Derpy here. All right, we'll be coming up from the south anyway, which is good. Which, if I can't get through all the Crystal Overlook, damn manger door again, and we're going to end up over aggroing, I'll bet you. If we can't get these guys down quickly enough. And again, I forget to go get some more lockpicks too. Come on, before one of these patrols comes too close. Alright, there we go. I think I still got the one left we didn't break yet. Oh, no, and we still got it. Come on, because here they come. Come on, run, fellas, run. Oh, shoot, we're going to have to fight them anyway. Alright, never you mind. Seeing where the bridge is now that we have to cross. But yeah, it was interesting that I guess it was Eye of the North that most of the consumables came up. Well, yeah, because we do have there have been consumables sort of throughout the game, mostly during the holiday events. I think there were a little more that were introduced here with Nightfall, but I think the core set of them were all introduced with Eye of the North. But really, when you think about it, all right, we'll just let the minions aggro them. Let's keep going here. Back in the Prophecies days, I'm trying to think if there were any that were existent outside of the holiday type things. But it did, back in the crafting system in Guild Wars here, the original Guild Wars, is as basic as you can pretty much get, which suits me just fine. I've never been much of a crafter in games unless it was absolutely necessary to do so. And even in those games, I probably didn't play them as a whole lot because of that reason. Oh, all right, more of those guys here. Good. So I always found my favorite crafting system to be the one we've got right here in Guild Wars. Nice, simple. Go gather, give it to somebody, and he'll give you something in return. That's what always worked for me for the most part. Having to learn recipes and then find recipes and then find the stuff that you need to craft those recipes and all that kind of stuff. That's a little bit more work than I really would rather do for a I guess subsystem of a game here. I was always the kind I'd rather just be out exploring and let the stuff I kill drop the stuff that I would be using throughout my progression in the game. Alright, who are these things here? Giants. Ooh, a boss giant. Alright, so let's see if we can't start ourselves up in this zone with a little bit of a morale boost. That would be a nice change of pace. Why don't we do this too? And we'll do that. And we'll do that. Click skills at random here. That's what we like to do. Most games, it's that in the beginning of expansion you can craft good items, and then as the expansion goes on, new crafting tools aren't added and the crafting system becomes irrelevant. Yeah, essentially, for a sandbox game, I would expect, and I would hope that the crafting system would be more intricate. But for the theme parks, which is my sort of type of game of choice here, the more theme park hand-holding type game, crafting to me should be a little less relevant. But for sandbox games, part of the core gameplay is being able to find your own way, so to speak. And I would expect, some of the subsystems that we find in RPGs to be more relevant. But like I said, there's a lot of games that just they throw it in there in the beginning and then it's forgotten about. Unfortunately, there's a lot of, and it's not just crafting systems. You'll find in games that's affected by that type of development cycle, I guess you could say. Speaking of Star Wars: The Old Republic, which we'll be playing in a little bit here, on the Extra Life for Kids channel. You know, there's been a few systems implemented in that game at launch that have basically just withered away because there's been no developmental support for them. But I am a firm belief that, at least in the theme park wise, I shouldn't need, I should be able to get through a game, get through the story, wherever it is, the story, the quest, the missions. Do not abide the... Oh, that's right, we already have that. All right, good. So you're a grading monolith 1 and 2. Without having to use, you know, Star Wars Galaxies is a good example in that there were a lot of subsystems involved in that game that were extremely necessary to being successful in that game. And for me, that was never something I really found enjoyable or desirable. Now, again, being a sandbox game, I think it was okay. Now, of course, you can get into all the, you know, things about implementation and, you know, how things are poorly or well implemented in the game, but at the end of the day, I never thought it was good game design for people to have to stand in line for minutes or even hours at a time to get a buff in order to go out to a certain zone and go kill something. I said, I have my weapon, I have my armor, I should be able to go out and go kill stuff. It's always been my philosophy. And then, of course, if I wanted to have a certain look or something to that effect, then yeah, let's bring in a little bit of those subsystems to where you can do a little bit more customization, where it wouldn't necessarily affect your ability to progress, but it gives you more opportunity for variations, I guess I should say. And how you progress. I gotta let me decide how we want to handle this, because where are we at here? We might have enough time to get through the bulk of the Crystal Overlook here, so I just gotta decide how. If I want to run up the outer edge here, I think I may just want to run up the outer edge and just zigzag back and forth. Again, if I run out of time, I can always leave this upper section here for next episode. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll just zig back north into south here. Let's thread the needle here, and no aggro yet. That was close. That was pretty close to some aggro there. Alright, so we'll do it this way. Ooh, I can't believe we didn't aggro there. That's, you know, that's one of the things I've one of those things I've tended to do now, you know, in the Guild Wars games in particular, where you have a mob practically every 5 steps you take. Some of the things you get in the habit of doing to change things up a bit is, how many mobs can you actually avoid? How many battles can you actually not fight getting from point A to point B? So I found myself in the latter stages here of playing the game. It's like, okay, I just want to get from here to there as quickly as possible. Without, you know, obviously there are builds specifically that you can use for running builds, but again, you know, using my flavorful builds here. Get to point A to point B as quickly as possible. So how can I avoid as many mobs as possible? So that sort of became a mini game for me. going through these campaigns again. Oh good, we've got ourselves another boss here. We'll definitely take down these guys. Be nice to be running around a zone here with some morale boost instead of death penalty on everybody. Right, you. Alright, so we're still in Balthazar. We're about to run out, so let's redo you before you guys stomp. No, you already got some trap up. I was about to say, let me go fight somebody else while you're running over there, but you have the trap going. We haven't killed anybody yet. There we go, first one's down. There you, we'll strip that down. Do I have the other one? No, I don't have that. Oh, that just ended. I got my strikes of adrenaline, which is good. We'll set you on fire. We'll strip that down. Get some more strikes of adrenaline, so we can do that. I'm actually doing something somewhat efficiently here, I think. I have Cat to thank for that. Jeddah the Mighty. Boom, boom. Now where is... Yes, it's really hard to tell where the edge is here. Ruptured Heart, I didn't see the quest givers there, so they must be spawning later. Shanaval, Family Soul, there is a quest here. In this zone. Come on. I'm going to let you guys come to us for a change. So do that. What does this one do again? It's deep wound for 35 seconds. Okay. So good, yeah, he's already got the deep wound going. One of the nice things I did like was the advent of the mercenary system here. I thought that was pretty cool. Although, I mean, technically, I guess, you know, with the hero system, you can set up a hero somewhat to match the skills that you use as a player character for a certain build. But it's nice with the mercenary system that ArenaNet figured a way to get our actual characters, or other characters, to travel along with us. Like I said, it's like most of the skills they use are the actual. Now, minus of course the PvE only skills which heroes cannot use, but for the most part their builds are identical. I think the only exception here is Hannick, because he's purged. Yeah, I do have him set up as a healer. I usually like to travel with 3 healers in my party because, again, my weak butt builds here. But Hannick I've always played as a smiting monk, just because I stink as a healer. Or at least in the time I tried to heal in this game. Playing as henchman, I certainly wasn't going to start doing it in a group of people, with a party of players, I should say. Where is... Yeah, he's the one I kind of want to kill first. Let's set the flame Jin on fire. Because, yeah, that makes sense. But yeah, the time I tried to go full-on heal, yeah, it wasn't pretty. down there. Almost looks like it'd be a whole bunch of jade down there, but that's all sulfur. From the looks of it. The sickly green. Jade's a little bit more unsickly green, I think. Lockpick. Oh, we still have our lockpick. I'm amazed this thing hasn't broke yet. Streaming early today. Hey, there's Cat. Cat has made it. Oh, well, yeah. You can say that considering the last few Mondays I've barely been able to stream at all due to one circumstance or another. Yeah, I'm finally able to almost get back on schedule here with my streaming again. But glad you can pop in here towards the end anyway before we head back on over to the Extra Life for Kids channel. Although you did miss Snoosku making fun in a way of my Ranger build here, Farazan's build, or Zaffirin's build rather. I told him you do that pretty much on a regular basis. But yeah, hopefully now this month, at least for this month, again, you know, circumstances with the family and my wife's job situation, all that, may affect things going forward. But I'm hoping at least for April to try to stick to my schedule and get caught up on all our Elonian adventures. Get caught up and get ahead of our Elonian Adventures episodes here. So my game plan is to try to stream every Monday as normal, back to normal, and just do all Elonian Adventures here. Do 3 episodes a day every Monday. And I actually did start a little bit late here too. So no interrupts, a pet, too many expensive skills. Yep. Alright, let's see what you got. Oh! They killed my wife, my daughter, they took my life. You look like, but no, dead, they're all dead. You sound a little unhinged there. I killed them all, bring me their bones. The bones, 5 inscribed shards. I'll give you what's left of my family's belongings. Really? After all that, you're just going to give away what you have left of them. That makes perfect sense. Let's see, this one, this has some health there. Received, and a damage reduction. Which may be nice in some circumstances. I'm sure there's a flame gem here. Yep, there you go. Oh, 2 of them again. Come here. Get rid of you. I need to get rid of you. Burn you with fire, because again, that makes perfect sense, to kill you with your own fire. Well, of course, no, not your own fire, but we do have magic fire, I guess you could say. It's magic fire. This is actually good in the skill set. And if anything, it's worth the chuckle of everybody making fun of my build. If nothing else, it's worth that bit of entertainment. But just wait till I drag Cat along with me when we go into the realm of torment here. The exasperation that will be seen. I went a little bit too far that way, didn't I? So let's start working our way back. So I think we'll go this way, and we'll do a curvy zigzag. Mystic corruption, especially to trigger fragility, and you don't have a fragility hero with you. Yes, of course. Yeah, I have to say, yeah. I don't have a mesmer, do I? No, don't have a mesmer with me. That's Cat's job. Cat has all the good mesmer builds. Yeah, you don't. I'm trying to think. I think I have. Because part of what I've done too with the basic heroes, the game heroes, you might say, not the mercenary heroes, but the regular game heroes, is that I've since there are multiple heroes for a profession, like we've got Zed, we've got Vec, and we got Susuke as elementalist heroes. I've set each one, because as you can see, none of the game heroes have a secondary profession. So what I did from the outset, and I've just clung to, was just make the heroes proficient, quote unquote, in one of their main attributes. So Dunkoro is healing prayers, Talcora is protection prayers. The dwarf Ogden, everything he does is the divine prayer skill set. So Zed is the water magic hero. Susuke is the fire magic hero. So the same thing with the mesmer heroes. I've all just have them one focus on just one of the skill sets. So let's see, I think, who do we got? We got Norgu, we've got Gwen, and who's the other one? Is there no? Because I know there's a couple of professions that only have 2 heroes assigned to them, or have 2 heroes with that as a primary. Nope, I can't pull that up out here. Norgu, Gwen, I thought there was another one. Who's the other one? She used water magic. Because water puts out fire. So when we run into a fire djinn, Zed's the perfect hero to be using water. He's perfect. Just douse it with water. And then the one character I have, because there's only, I think, 3 elementalists. Oh, we don't want to go that way. 3 elementalist heroes. I have my my elementalist primary set up as the earth magic. Fire give winter. I think there was a time. We did we did some exploration, I think, Kat, with I had winter on Zafir in there. Yes. Well, we do all know that mesmers are the solution to any problem. And I do like mesmers. I think mesmers, are probably the coolest. I've told Kat this. I think they're the coolest profession out of the 8 that we got here. Plus, they have the coolest looking armor too, I think. All right, so where the hell am I? I meant to go back, and I haven't, and I've just come full circle now. All right, so that made sense. So I guess we're going to change the plans here a little bit. Well, no, because let me see. I've got because we got domination, we got fast casting, illusion, and inspiration. Now Gwen is set up to be pure inspiration. She uses inspiration magic. Norgu, I think I have Norgu as illusion. Trying to think, who do I have? Nadine. No, because Nadine is my character here. She's illusion. So I might have Norgu and Nadine both as illusion magic. Trying to think what other Mesmers I have. I think I have another Mesmer, but he's more of a mule. A faction member Mesmer I have as a mule. Mistake one. Absolutely. Absolutely. And like I said, and it's not that, you know, she's an inspiration, you know, primary that I use other skills from other, you know, the other trees there, you might say, to complement whatever inspiration. She's all inspiration. That's all she uses is inspiration magic skills. She uses nothing else. So you can imagine just how useless Gwen is in any circumstance. Not mercenaries, you have three. Okay, I thought there was a third. I can't remember who the third one is. I'll just go ahead and open this up while you guys fight. Thank you. You're only left with one actually useful hero. Yeah, probably the most useful hero I have would be the Necromancer hero. Heroes I use as a minion master, because at least the minions take the brunt of some of the damage. But of course, that only works when you have minions or corpses that you can spawn minions from, and you don't have any mobs there that use anti-minion skills like in Keswick's Peak. I think Kat was witness to that, me going through Keswick's Peak with a minion master and watching all my minions get stolen and destroyed. Take the brother damage, uses both. Absolutely, of course. Well, let's see where we're at. So it's just the center here, and we got to get into worms for that. So I just got to go up there, hit that little bit. All right. We might actually get this done in time for this episode. Good. We'll at least have the Crystal Outlook map cleared, so there'll be one less thing to worry about. And no aggro? Shocking. Oh, here it comes. Here comes the aggro. No, why would I troll? That's Abby's job. Abby's job is as the troll. The troll of the stream. And where is okay, she's still sleeping. Good, at least she got a nap today. Otherwise she'd be dreadful the rest of the day. That's Abby's job to troll. Oh, come on, I only need 3 more inscribed shards. I don't want to go the easy way and just pull them out of storage. I think at one point I tried playing a Trapper Ranger that had no abilities not to be interrupted. I think there's a couple of Ranger skills or something that prevent you from being interrupted. I never used them. We're saying planning on use Ogden, just planning. That's what I've done. As soon as I got Ogden, he was a divine prayers healer there. All the signets I threw on him didn't use an ounce of energy. He had a full energy pool at all times. Yeah, because then, with the three heroes, you had your, I got Dunkora for healing, Talcora for protection, Ogden for divine, and of course Hanuk is, as I said, is the smiter. He's my smiter. Well, yeah, obviously. I don't know. I don't know. I can't see why I just never, it's like once the heroes were introduced and they came with defaults, stuff like that. Obviously you can choose any secondaries, that kind of stuff. I just never, I said, what would it be like just to keep them as whatever primary profession they, I think that's part of the reasoning for some of the heroes. I think Dunkoro, when you first get him, is more geared towards healing prayers, so that's why I always kept him like that too. I just never, it's like, no, let's do it this way. And it was funny because I think on one hero, on one of my ults, I was playing around, and I accidentally set one of the heroes to have I gave him a secondary profession by accident. I was just doing something, I forgot how I did it, and that just annoyed me. I said, I didn't want to do that, and it just annoyed me, so I never used that hero again on that character, because it just annoyed me, because I gave him a secondary profession. I didn't want him to have a secondary. Some primal gameplay is a vast understatement here. Yes, it is. See, and when you think about it, like Kat said, it's I've actually managed to complete all the campaigns except Eye of the North at this point, just because I haven't bothered to finish Eye of the North yet. The fact that I've been able to get through the 3 main campaigns playing this way is really a miracle in and of itself. And you can say that's a good thing, because then you can say, hey, this game isn't all that difficult to play. If you just want to hop in and play it, you can not really worry about having to find out what the most efficient build is and that kind of stuff. You just pick a build you like and play with it, and you can get through the campaign. I mean, that's the positive on that. But then you look at it the negative way and say, yeah, this game is so easy that you can be a total derp throughout the whole campaign and not work and still complete it. So you got the flip side of the coin there as well. All right, so where are we at? Where's our time? Okay. Hey, if we can't. See if we can't clear out the center here real quick. We can't go down. Can we get down there? I don't think we can get down there from here. No, not there. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've ever used I don't think I've ever used a meta build. I mean, when PVX Wiki was yeah, we can get down here. I thought there was a way to get down. That's what we're looking for here. Was a thing, I guess you could say. I think especially after Eye of the North came out, I looked on there for some builds to get through some things. Because I know I was looking at, originally I had plans to play a 55 monk. I wanted to try, it was one of the things where, one of those sort of meta builds that I figured, well, let me go play one of these builds and see if I could play it and that kind of stuff. So my initial plan was to do a 55 monk, and I still have all the runes and the weapons that were recommended, which I think a 55 monk now is unplayable. I think for the original purposes of the 55 monk, I think ArenaNet patched their usefulness out. But I still have all the stuff that was needed to make a 55 monk. Just say Askcaster was garbage in PvP. Exactly. That's the way I look at it. There have been times where I've said, okay, I've got to, in certain parts, especially with Eye of the North, again, Realm of Torment a little bit, where I said, okay, I've got to, at least if I still left the hero builds to be as, crap as they are, but I figured, well, let me see if I can make some changes to my builds to be a little bit better, just to get through some of the areas. I've done that, but again, it's always, my thing has been always, well, what do I like here? I mean, there are circumstances like with the assassin and stuff with the skill change. I said, okay, obviously I went there and said, okay, let's do a good, at least a skill chain that works. If it's not exactly a good efficient skill chain, at least it's one that is an actual skill chain and just not some random skills that don't even work with each other. I've done that at least. All builds used for farming that basically prevented you from taking any damage don't work. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. I said a lot of that stuff got patched out. Another one I was thinking of getting something together was, I think it was the Cathedral of Flames. I think there was a pair build where you actually you needed two characters to do the efficient runner or whatever it was with that. And that was another one I was thinking of doing, because the Cathedral of Flames, I think, was one of the dungeons I had some difficulty with at the outset. Very well, if we could use this gimmick build, so to speak, to get through it, then at least just to get through it and then play around later. But other than that, yeah, I never really looked at the metas, which of course, doesn't help when we went into PvP. Although with PvP, I consciously tried to do something a little. You know, whenever I took characters into PvP, I always changed things around so they at least try to perform a little better. But at least like the random arenas and that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think, yeah, because I didn't really play. Yeah, I played a little bit, but not really a whole lot of PvP. I mean, the most PvP I played were the factions arenas, Aspenwood and the Jade Quarry. Which even for those, the builds I take into there, I built for a specific purpose. Mostly to cap shrines. Or as at least in terms of Fort Aspenwood, Amber Runners. Used to run a Touch Ranger in PvP. I'm trying to think, because I did a Ranger, and I actually tried. I remember I don't think I did Touch. I'm trying to think if I did have the blind skill on though, because I know I did have an interrupt, because I remember that distinctly, because there was one point where I actually got an interrupt off at the right time. I actually was able to interrupt like a pro, just the one time. I said, "Wow, I did that good." I think the times I took my Rangers into like the team arenas and stuff, it was more condition. The throw-on conditions on them, and to try to harass the monk a little bit. If we ended up coming up against a monk, yeah, exactly. That's why I run 3 monks. That used to be, yeah, the Touch Ranger used to be a meta. So you can face tank whirling defenses. Yep. Absolutely. I think my proudest moments in PvP, I have to say, because there weren't many of them. I mean, for the most part, I think I was able to hold my own for the most part. I think my proudest moments were when the hero battles were active. And before they really started getting some of the metas in there and the complaints and everything else, back when they were fresh and new, that was something I really focused on, trying to get good builds for and do efficiently. And I had a really good run there, a really good stretch where I was winning about 75% of my matches in hero battles. Now, most of them were, I think if I remember right, there was ranked and unranked. So you could go unranked, which was just a random battle, and then you had the ranked. Now, ranked, of course, I did a little bit worse, but, oh, crap. But for the most part, yeah, until, like, really the first year, until the metas really started taking hold, and the gimmick builds took hold of hero battles, I was actually doing pretty good. Way back when factions first came out, I remember playing Aura's Displacement Assassin in GVG a lot. That build was fun. Yeah. Staying in Savannah Heat, absolutely. Oh, look, I'm dead. I didn't even read chat, and I didn't realize we're all about to wipe here. Oh yeah, but yeah, I remember the Ranger one. The other Ranger one was the before Ritualist, the original Spirit Spammer. Oh look, oh this is gonna not end well here. because now they are up by the shrine. But yeah, I remember this the spirit spamming ranger builds there, or the spirit block. I think it was technically spirit blocking. You use the spirits to block access, I think, to something, if I remember right. And of course, that's when the nerfs really started falling. Nerfs to how spirits work, and then of course the one that irked me the most was the asinine pet corpse nerf, and I use that as all one word. To where you can't sacrifice your pet and let your minion master exploit it. That was probably one of the nerfs I hated the most out of everything they did in the game, because I consider that an absolutely viable tactic. Imagine if anyone on your team had a single interrupt. Never surrender. Only checks for targets when it's cast. Oh, it doesn't. Oh, okay. Well, see, see now. It didn't tell me that. All right. So we still need to go out here into. Where are we at here? So it looks like I gotta find the wormhole here, which I think if we run back, do a quick run here, because I am going to have to get ready for our extra live stream here. Yeah, SerenaNet was the killer of hopes and dreams. Yeah, I sort of it got to the point to the end there when it was clear they were starting to develop. Or get the idea, at least get the ideas and get GW2. Where the hell's the wormhole at? In development here. All right, because I want to go that way, but I don't see the spore. Oh, nope, not the Ghostly Scout. That they really started. Yeah, doing things the wrong way, or not even trying, I guess. And the one smiting monk skill that was basically nerfed into oblivion because they couldn't be bothered to try to figure out how to balance it for PvP was one of those deals where you look at it and say, "Come on, guys, can't you at least try better, try harder?" Well, yeah, see, that's the thing. It's like it gets to the point where, it's an MMO. Farming is an MMO tradition. Farming is an MMO staple. So why, you don't, obviously in terms of economy, you do want to keep farming in any MMO under control, but, again, there never really was a big economy here. The game was never really built with a traditional MMO economy in mind, I think, here. So so farming in that sense, I think really wasn't as, you wouldn't see it as problematic as it would be in other games. But yeah, I was kind of disappointed that a lot of the stuff they nerfed, it was just, fun things you could do. Oh, there's the worm spore way up there. Of course it is. So it's kind of a disappointment in that regard. We turned the game into Shadow Form Assassins Online. Yeah. Smiter's Boon, yeah, that was it, yeah, yep. Well, that was the whole thing, with, there, I understood the need for some of the nerfs. You could say it negatively affected, for PvP especially, some nerfs were necessary. But again, to go as far as what they did with Smiter's Boon, come on, you gotta do better than that. About like the Permisons and Ursun's Blessing, I thought at the end of the day, because I think in ArenaNet did one thing that really isn't appreciated, or at least not that I've ever found to be overly acknowledged or appreciated in the gaming community and the gaming industry, was the fact that they split skills for PvE and PvP, which I thought was really a great thing to do, because you got two disparate gameplay types here, and you'll see it in any MMO, to where something has to be done because there is a meta that is certainly outperforming anything out there under the sun, and it's sort of it's diminishing gameplay. So you have to do something about it. But unfortunately, when you go to do something about it, it almost always negatively affects the other aspect of the game. Whether it's something nerfed for PvP that negatively affects PvE, or vice versa. So the idea of splitting skills so they have different behaviors depending on what gameplay mode you're playing, I thought was a great idea. That sort of sometimes, like again with Smiter's Boon, sort of went nowhere. Yeah, like and again the Ursun's Blessing nerf was, I didn't like it. I understood the need for it. Because at the end of the day, it got to the point to where, if you don't run Ursun's Blessing, or you don't run Permison, you're not getting into a group. You're not going to be able to go do something. But at some point, you gotta say, okay, is the entire meta affected by this one build? And yeah, I guess for both of those they were. But still, at the end of the day, I kind of like the idea of, hey, let's just something that you could just do for fun, for shits and giggles, and let's load up a party of Ursuns and just have at it. I always thought that was kind of fun. Yeah, like a party full of warriors. Why not? But at the end of the day, they were abused. The problem is that they got abused. If we as players are able to show a little bit of restraint and sort of not light the signal fires with some of the meta builds, then we might have gotten away with them not being nerfed into uselessness. But unfortunately, that's what we are as a gaming community. We just can't help ourselves. Wow, it looks like I actually didn't need to get in there. It looks like that got all cleared out. So good. We got Crystal Overlook cleared out pretty well here. Good. So we are good to go here. Still looks like that can get cleared there. We don't know, but we've already, we can't get any closer anywhere else. Next time I'm in Ruptured Heart, I might just run that section over again just to see. I need my Obi shards, yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. It would have been all right if those builds. Yeah. See, again, farming is one thing, but then when it's starting to affect some of the little player driven economy we had in the game. Yeah, it's unfortunate that it had to happen that way. Because, like I said, I actually never used Ursun's Blessing. I think before it was nerfed, or if I did, I used it temporarily. And the thing that got me was like, I looked at the blessing skills in Eye of the North sort of as the avatar skills here. When they first introduced them and said, "Oh, this is what they do," I said, "Oh, cool! We can turn ourselves into an actual bear." I think that's where you went going through the Norn storyline and say, oh, okay. Not only do we get to help Jorah regain her ability to turn into a bear, but we can use this blessing skill and we can turn into a bear ourselves. And then it's like, no, it just changes your skill bar. And no, even though you get her as a hero and technically you helped her regain her bear form, she can't use it. I'm like, really? Really, ArenaNet? Really? Come on. And so at that point, I sort of became jaded with the blessing skills and never really gave it much more thought until Ursun's blessing exploded. And I'm like, really? It's like, whatever. And then, of course, they nerfed it. I said, oh, well, let me try using it now. And then it gets nerfed. It's like, oh, all right. Avatar skills were done right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's no doubt the Eye of the North skills were overpowered. Which, again, I think, at that point in time, you look at what they were doing. At that point in time, it was inevitable. We were going to get 8 hero parties. We had all these consumables now that made you overpowered to begin with. It was quite, and of course the whole thing with Eye of the North was that, yes, Guild Wars 2 is coming. We're in development. So, I mean, the whole, I guess, theory behind a lot of what they did was to make the game more soloable at that point in time, which naturally, of course, you have to have some overpowered stuff to do it. But, yeah, it's, at this point in time, it's like, the way I look at it now, it's like, you know what, why not bring back Permacin? Why not bring back the original Ursun's Blessing? Just let people have some fun with it now, really, at this point, it doesn't matter, most of the stuff you go into now is bot infested to begin with, so it's, we might as well have some fun at the end here, in the end days, but, oh well, everybody has a different opinion and all that. I always thought it was probably needed, those nerfs, but it was a shame that it turned out. I thought it was a shame that they did feel it was needed, because at the end of the day, we're like I said, the builds I play, it's just for fun. I'm not here to be efficient or to be an example of a high skilled player here, which I'm sure Kat can certainly attest to. But it's all in fun, and then everything done in moderation is if we can do it in fun and do it in moderation, why not? Let's have the old Ursun Blessing back. It'd be fun to grab up 7 other people. Hey, let's just go EB this thing real quick and have some fun with it. But it is what it is, and that's where we're at right now. So, and where we're at right now is wrapping things up for this episode. I think we're good to go. And I'm going to pop on over. We're going to end the stream here, but we are going to be back in a few minutes or so on the Extra Life, if I can spell this correctly, Extra Life for Kids channel, where I do a weekly 2-hour broadcast as part of the Extra Life stream team. Every Monday from 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll be popping over there in a few minutes to play some Star Wars The Old Republic. I think I'm going to continue the adventures we started last week with our Jedi Counselor. Get that going. And like I said, we'll be back here again next week. Same time for 3 more Elonian Adventures episodes here. 73, 74, and 75. And by that time, we should be able to get through the ruins of Mora, the poisoned outcrops, and perhaps be on our way into the realm of torment. Yes, next week. Next Monday. Because unfortunately, the way my real life works and all that stuff, Mondays are pretty much the only day I have guaranteed to be able to do an extra long stream like this. Most of the other days, I'm lucky if I can do an hour and a half to 2 hours. So usually when when I'm trying to catch up on stuff, I'll do that on a Monday and do my big long streams. But I've switched my schedule around a bit to do my MMOs. Oh, thank you for the follow, White Halo, as well. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Yes, I am not going to die to Varesh today. That will certainly be next week, because we do have to get through the mission next week. Yeah, so Varesh will certainly be killing me next week. But yeah, so like I said, my game plan for this month is just every Monday. Usually Mondays, I kind of split things up a bit. I'll do a couple of hours of Guild Wars, and maybe then rotate through some of my other MMOs that I play. But like I said, I've gotten so far behind the last month or so due to some real life circumstances and my computer breaking and all sorts of other fun stuff, that what I'm going to do for the rest of the month here is just do all my Elonian adventures on Mondays. So hopefully, with today three episodes a day should get us through at least 9, maybe 12 episodes this month for the YouTubes and all that good stuff. So yeah, we'll be back next week with more Elonian adventures, and then I'm trying to think. Then I think this Saturday I'm going to do some indie gaming that I got to get caught back up on as well. Every other Saturday is sort of my big day to where I'm off from work, so I can do an extended stream. So that's the game plan for this week. Fingers crossed. But thanks for stopping by, everybody. Thanks for joining me today. It's been fun. I had fun with everybody there, making fun of my builds and stuff. As long as everybody's entertained by my unique skills here. Let's call them that, unique skills. I'm glad. I'm happy for that. But thanks for joining me, everybody. Thank you again for the followers, fellas, or ladies, as the case may be. And hopefully I'll see you all next week. In the meantime, I gotta wrap up here, as we got to spend a few minutes here prepping for our extra life stream. Of course, everybody's more than welcome to join me over there as well. In case you don't know what Extra Life is, you can learn about Extra Life. In the meantime, I will sign off here and see everybody next time. Thank you, everybody. BJ Waller saying, until next time, I will see you all in game.